The gun clicks against Ruth's temple, and she doesn't flinch. Not anymore. Not after everything that's brought her to this moment. Standing in a warehouse that reeks of blood and betrayal, married to the man who once made her life hell. You should have left when I gave you the chance, Ji-hoon says from somewhere in the darkness, his voice cold as winter steel. She laughs bitter and sharp. And miss all this? Not a chance. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me take you back to where it all began. Ruth's phone buzzes at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. She's exhausted from her shift at the translation firm. Her tiny soul apartment feels suffocating. And the last thing she needs is another problem. But when she sees her father's name flashing on the screen, she answers immediately. Appa? What's wrong? His voice cracks through the speaker, and her blood runs cold. Ruthia, I need to tell you something. Please don't be angry. 20 minutes later, she's sitting on her bathroom floor, hyperventilating. Her father, the man who adopted her when she was 6 years old, the only family she's ever known, is drowning in debt to the John Syndicate. 300 million won. An impossible number. How? She whispers into the phone. How did this happen? The restaurant. The loans. I thought I could manage. But the interest, Ruth, they multiply it like. How long do we have? Silence. Then, they're coming tomorrow. The next evening, 3 men in colored suits fill her father's small apartment. They're polite. That's what makes it terrifying. The lead man, silver-haired and immaculate, sits across from her father like they're discussing the weather. Mr. Choi, you understand your situation. We've been patient. Her father's hands shake. I just need more time, please. We're not unreasonable people. The man's eyes slide to Ruth. We're prepared to forgive the entire debt. Everyone. Hope flares in her chest for exactly 2 seconds. Your daughter will marry Mr. John's eldest son. The ceremony will take place in 72 hours. The room spins. Absolutely not, Ruth says. I'm not some. Then your father dies. The man says it like he's ordering coffee. And you'll watch. Her father grabs her hand. No, Ruth, no. I'll find another way. But they both know there is no other way. Not with the John Syndicate. Everyone in Seoul knows what happens to people who cross them. Bodies in the Han River. Families erased overnight. She has 72 hours to decide between her freedom and her father's life. Ruth spends the first day researching the John family. What she finds makes her stomach turn. Money laundering, trafficking, murder. The current boss's son is being groomed to take over. There are 2 brothers, Ji-hoon and Min-jae. She can't find much about Ji-hoon except that he's ruthless, calculating, and untouchable. On the second day, she visits her father. They don't talk about the decision. They both know she's already made it. You gave me everything, she tells him, holding his weathered hands. You took in a little girl nobody wanted, and you loved me like I was your own blood. This is nothing, he cries. She doesn't. She can't afford to. The wedding day arrives like an execution. Ruth stands in front of the mirror in an ivory gown that costs more than her yearly salary. It's beautiful. She hates it. The venue is a fortress disguised as elegance. Armed guards at every entrance. Men in expensive suits with dead eyes. She's escorted down the aisle by strangers, her father too distraught to attend. She keeps her eyes on the floor. If she looks up, she'll run. If she runs, he dies. The officiant's voice drones on. She forces herself to breathe. Just get through this. Just survive. You may now face each other. She lifts her head. The world stops. No. It's him. John Ji-hoon. The boy who made her high school years a living nightmare. Who pulled her hair and called her things that still echo in her nightmares. Who led the others in mocking her accent, her skin, everything about her that was different. His face has sharpened with age, all angles and cold beauty. But it's him. The scar on his left hand confirms it. The scar she gave him when she fought back that one time. Her nails raking across his skin while he laughed. He's looking at her with an expression she can't read. Is that recognition? Guilt? Nothing? I do, he says when prompted. His voice deeper than she remembers but just as cutting. The officiant turns to her. Everyone's watching. Her father's life hangs in the balance. I do, she whispers. The ring slides onto her finger like a shackle. The car ride to the John estate is suffocating. Ji-hoon sits across from her, silent. She can't look at him, can't breathe. Did you know? The words escape before she can stop them. Did you know it was me? He doesn't answer, just stares out the window. The estate is massive, obscene, the kind of wealth built on suffering. Her new prison is a wing of this mansion, all marble and gold and emptiness. You'll stay here, Ji-hoon says, his first words since the ceremony. Don't wander, don't ask questions. This is business, nothing more. Business, she repeats hollowly. He turns to leave, then pauses. For a moment, something flickers across his face, but then it's gone, replaced by ice. Welcome to the family, Ruth. He knows her name. Of course he knows. She waits until his footsteps fade before she collapses. That night, she can't sleep. Every shadow reminds her of high school, of being 15 and alone, one of 3 colored students in a sea of Korean faces, of Ji-hoon and his friends circling her like sharks. What's wrong with your hair? Why is it so nappy? You smell different. Is that a colored thing? Go back to your country. Oh wait, you don't even know where you're from, do you? And Ji-hoon, always Ji-hoon, leading the charge. The worst part was that he was smart about it. Never in front of teachers. Always plausible deniability. Just enough to destroy her without consequence. She remembers the day she snapped, when he pulled her hair in the cafeteria and everyone laughed. She'd spun around and clawed at him, desperate and feral. Blood welled on his hand. The satisfaction lasted exactly until he smiled. See? Violent. Just like they say. Now she's married to him. The universe has a sick sense of humor. A knock on her door makes her jump. It's past midnight. The door opens before she can respond. Ji-hoon stands in the doorway, still in his wedding suit minus the jacket. His sleeves are rolled up. She can see the scar. We need to talk, he says. Get out. This is my house. Then I'll leave. She stands, shaking with rage. This was a mistake. I'll find another way to save my father. There is no other way. You signed the contract. You're mine now. The word mine makes her see red. I'm not yours. I'm not anyone's. This is a business arrangement, remember? So stay out of my room. Something flashes in his eyes. Fine, but you need to understand the rules. We have enemies. You don't leave this estate without security. You don't talk to anyone about syndicate business. And you play the devoted wife in public. Or what? Or your father's debt returns. With interest. He leaves before she can throw something at his head. The next morning, she meets the staff. They're surprisingly warm, especially Mrs. Yoon, a housekeeper who's worked for the John family for 30 years. Mrs. John, please let me know if you need anything. Mrs. Yoon says with genuine kindness. The title makes Ruth want to scream, but she smiles instead. If she's trapped here, she needs allies. Please call me Ruth. And actually, I'd love to know more about the family. Everything feels so overwhelming. Mrs. Yoon's eyes soften. Of course. Let's have tea. Over the next week, Ruth learns everything. The old Mr. John was murdered 6 months ago. The family is fracturing. Ji-hoon is trying to hold it together, but there are whispers of a power struggle. His younger brother Min-jae is beloved by many of the older members. She also notices things about Ji-hoon. The way he flinches when she mentions, casually to a guard, how traumatic her high school years were. How he appears instantly when one of his men makes a comment about her accent. His voice dropping to something dangerous. Apologize. Now. The guard stammers an apology, terrified. It doesn't make sense. Why would he care? Unless, one evening, she's in the library when she hears footsteps. Ji-hoon enters, stopping short when he sees her. I didn't know anyone used this room, he says. I needed books. Unless that's against the rules too. He moves to the whiskey cart, pours himself a drink. His hand trembles slightly. The hand with her scar. That's for me, isn't it? She says quietly. From high school. He freezes. I don't know what you're talking about. Liar. He downs the whiskey in one gulp. Believe what you want. Why did you agree to this marriage? You could have refused. Your father's dead, you're in charge now. So why me? For a long moment he just looks at her. There's something in his eyes that might be pain. Might be regret. It was strategic, he finally says. But his voice lacks conviction. You're lying again. He leaves without another word, but she sees the tension in his shoulders. The way he grips the doorframe like he's holding himself back from saying more. He knows. He's always known. The next day, She meets Min-jae at breakfast. He's nothing like his brother. Where Ji-hoon is ice, Min-jae is warmth. He's handsome, charming, with an easy smile that makes her want to trust him. "So you're the woman who finally got my brother to settle down," he says, grinning. "I didn't think anyone could melt that ice block." Despite herself, she laughs. "I don't think melt is the right word. Give it time. Ji-hoon's not as cold as he pretends. Our father did a number on both of us. But Ji-hoon got the worst of it. He learned to hide everything. It's an olive branch, an explanation, but something in her gut says be careful. You two seem very different," she says neutrally. "Oh, we are. I'm the disappointment, he's the golden boy. Well, was. Now he's just the boss." Min-jae's smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. "But enough about family drama. Let me show you Seoul properly. Ji-hoon keeps you locked up here like Rapunzel. She shouldn't trust him. But she's drowning in this mansion and he's offering air. I'd like that." Over the next 2 weeks, a routine forms. Ji-hoon keeps his distance during the day, all business. But at night, he comes to her room. Never touching, never crossing lines. But there's something desperate in these visits. "Why do you come here?" she asks one night. He's standing by her window, staring out at the gardens. "I don't know. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have." He turns to face her. "Do you hate it here?" The question surprises her. "Would it matter if I did?" "Yes." The sincerity in his voice throws her off. She expected cruelty, possessiveness, not this quiet vulnerability. "I hate being trapped," she says carefully. "I hate not having choices." He nods slowly. "I understand that more than you know." Before she can ask what he means, he leaves. She's getting to him. She can feel it. And a plan starts forming in her mind. Ruth starts playing the perfect wife. At syndicate dinners, she's gracious and poised. The older members approve. Ji-hoon's grandmother, Halmione, takes particular interest in her. "You have strength," the old woman says during a private tea. "Good. Weak women don't survive in this family." Ruth bows respectfully. "I'm honored by your kindness, Halmione." "Don't be. I'm not kind. But I recognize quality when I see it." Halmione studies her. "My grandson watches you like you're a puzzle he can't solve." "Does he?" He thinks he's subtle. He's not. The old woman pours more tea. "Whatever game you two are playing, make sure you know what you're gambling. It's a warning." Ruth heeds it. But behind the dutiful wife act, she's gathering information. She befriends the staff, learns the compound's layout, gains access to Ji-hoon's study when he's out. The financial ledgers are damning. Her father's business is now completely entangled with the syndicate's operations. Her stomach drops. If she destroys Ji-hoon, she destroys her father too. The plan she's been nurturing crumbles. She's trapped more thoroughly than she thought. That night, when Ji-hoon appears at her door, she's done pretending. "I know who you are," she says quietly. "I've always known." He goes completely still. "Ruth, don't you dare say my name like we're friends. Like you didn't make my life hell for 2 years. Her voice shakes. "Every time I look in the mirror, I hear your voice. Every time someone stares at me on the street, I remember how you taught them to look at me like I was less than human." His face drains of color. "I recognized you the moment I saw your name on the contract. And you said yes anyway. Was it fun? Getting to own me this time instead of just torturing me?" "No." His voice breaks. "Ruth, I was a monster. I was 15 and angry and I took it out on you because I was different. Because I was easy to hurt. Because you were free." The words explode out of him. "You were yourself unapologetically, and I hated you for it. I hated that you had something I could never have. My father beat the humanity out of me before I could walk. And there you were, kind and genuine despite everything. So I tried to break you." She wasn't expecting honesty. It disarms her more than cruelty would. "That doesn't make it okay," she whispers. "I know. Nothing makes it okay." He takes a step toward her, stops. "I've spent 7 years building power, becoming untouchable, thinking it would fix what's broken in me. Then your name crossed my desk and I saw a chance to, I don't know, protect you, prove I'd changed. I'm still a monster, Ruth. But now I'm a monster who makes sure no one else can hurt you. I don't want your protection. I want..." Her voice cracks. "I wanted you to suffer like I did. Then make me suffer. I'll take whatever you dish out. I deserve it. She wants to hate him. It would be so much easier to hate him. Get out, she says instead. Just get out. He leaves, and for the first time she sees his shoulders shake. The next day, Min-jae takes her to Itaewon. It's Seoul's international district, vibrant and diverse. He shows her colored-owned cafes, introduces her to expat communities. For a few hours, she feels less alone. Thank you for this, she tells him over coffee. I needed it. Ji-hoon's not great at the human touch, Min-jae says, but I think he's trying. In his own broken way. You defend him a lot. He's my brother. That's what brothers do. But something in his tone feels off. Later, she's heading to bed when she hears voices from Ji-hoon's study. The door is ajar. Can't keep waiting. That's Min-jae's voice. The old guard is getting restless. If you show any more weakness, I'm handling it. Ji-hoon, cold and tired. Are you? Because from where I'm standing, you're distracted. That wife of yours has you twisted up. Careful. I'm just saying. Father's death left a vacuum. You need to fill it completely or someone else will. Silence. Then Ji-hoon. Is that a threat? Min-jae laughs. For me? Never. I'm on your side, brother. The conversation ends. Ruth slips away before she's caught. Heart pounding. The next morning, she accidentally overhears another conversation. This time, Min-jae's on the phone in the garden, his back to her. 3 more need to disappear. They're asking too many questions about father's death. No, Ji-hoon doesn't suspect. I said I'll handle it. When the time's right, we move on him too. Then it's all ours. Ice floods her veins. Min-jae. Min-jae orchestrated his father's murder. And Ji-hoon is next. Her ally is a snake. She needs to tell Ji-hoon. But how does she explain that she trusts him now, even a little? That somewhere in the past weeks, the lines between revenge and something else have blurred? That night, when Ji-hoon comes to her room, she doesn't send him away. I need to tell you something, she says. About Min-jae. His expression sharpens. What about him? She tells him everything. The overheard conversations, the phone call, her suspicions. He listens without interrupting, his face growing darker. Why are you telling me this? He asks when she's done. Because... She struggles for words. Because despite everything, I don't want you dead. And because if Min-jae takes over, my father and I are leverage. We're dead anyway. So it's self-preservation. Yes, but they both know it's more than that. Ji-hoon runs a hand through his hair. I suspected something was off. I didn't want to believe my own brother would. He cuts himself off. Thank you for trusting me with this. I don't trust you, she says automatically. No, you just saved my life. He meets her eyes. That's more than I deserve. After he leaves, Ruth sits in the dark and wonders who she's becoming. They start working together. Late nights in Ji-hoon's study, going through files, finding evidence. Their father kept meticulous records, and sure enough, Min-jae's fingerprints are all over the assassination plot. He was always father's favorite, Ji-hoon says quietly one night. Easier to love, you know? I thought that meant he'd be better than me. Kinder. Power corrupts everyone, Ruth says. Even the kind ones. They work well together, she realizes. Their minds move in similar patterns. He's strategic where she's bold. She sees details he misses. When their hands accidentally brush reaching for the same document, neither pulls away immediately. It's dangerous, this growing understanding between them. A week later, there's a business dinner. Important partners from Japan. Ruth dresses carefully, prepared to play her role. But at dinner, one of the Japanese businessmen makes a comment. I didn't expect John-san to marry so internationally. Must be quite the adjustment. The table goes quiet. Ji-hoon's jaw tightens. It's no adjustment at all, Ruth says smoothly before Ji-hoon can respond. I grew up in Seoul. I speak Korean, Japanese, and English fluently. Perhaps that's what makes me valuable in international business. The man blinks, thrown off. She continues, your company's expansion into Seoul has stalled because you don't understand the local market. I've reviewed your proposals. They're tone deaf, but I can help. If you're willing to listen to someone who looks like me. By the end of the night, she's secured a deal that's been dying for months. The syndicate elders look at her with new respect. Ji-hoon watches her with something that might be awe. In the car ride home, he says, you didn't need me to defend you. No, I didn't. That was impressive. Terrifying. But impressive. Don't sound so surprised. He laughs. Actually laughs. Transforms his face. Makes him look younger. Almost like the boy he might have been without the cruelty and pain. I'm not surprised. I'm realizing how much I underestimated you. How much everyone underestimates you. He looks at her. That's their mistake. Something warm unfurls in her chest. She crushes it immediately. She can't afford warmth. Not with him. But it's getting harder to remember why. Everything explodes at a syndicate gala. Ji-hoon and Ruth are making the rounds when gunfire shatters the windows. People scream. Guards rush forward. And Ji-hoon is pushing her down, covering her body with his as bullets spray overhead. Stay down, he orders. But she sees the shooter. Sees him aiming for Ji-hoon's head. She doesn't think. She just moves. The gun is heavy in her hand. She's never shot anyone before. But when she pulls the trigger and the assassin drops, she feels nothing. Just cold clarity. More guards arrive. The shooter is dead. Chaos reigns. Ji-hoon sits up slowly, blood blooming on his shoulder. You shot him. He was going to kill you. Ruth! He touches her face. Your hands are shaking. She looks down. They are. The gun falls from her grip. I killed someone, she whispers. You saved my life. His voice is fierce. You saved both our lives. That's different. But is it? As guards escort them out, as she washes blood from her hands, she wonders if there's any difference at all. She's killed for him now. There's no going back from that. Ji-hoon recovers quickly. The bullet grazed him. But Ruth can't shake the image of him bleeding. Why did you cover me? She asks when she visits his room the next day. You could have been killed. Because losing you would have been worse. The simplicity of the statement floors her. Don't say things like that. Why not? It's true. He sits up carefully. I know you hate me. I know I destroyed any chance of us ever being anything real. But I need you to understand that I would die before I let anyone hurt you again. Including myself. I don't. She struggles. I don't hate you. Not anymore. I wish I did. It would be easier. What do you feel then? I don't know. Confused. Angry. Sometimes when you look at me like that, I forget why I should hate you. And that terrifies me. He's quiet for a long moment. I'm terrified too. They have the assassin's phone. Evidence that Min-jae hired him. But going after Min-jae means civil war in the syndicate. It means more blood. We need to end this, Ji-hoon says. One way or another. They call an emergency meeting of the family and syndicate leaders. The grand hall fills with dangerous men and women, all watching with predator eyes. Ji-hoon presents the evidence methodically. Father's encrypted files. The assassin's communications. Money trails leading back to Min-jae. But Min-jae is smooth. So smooth. My brother is grieving our father, he says with perfect sadness. It's made him paranoid. These allegations are desperate. The room murmurs. Some believe Ji-hoon, but many are swayed by Min-jae's charm. Then Ruth stands. I have no stake in this family's politics, she says. I'm an outsider who was forced into this world. So believe me when I say I gain nothing from lying. She describes the conversations she overheard. The phone call about eliminating obstacles. The casual discussion of murdering his own brother. I have nothing to gain from choosing sides, she continues. But I know what I heard. And I know that Min-jae has been playing everyone in this room. The tide shifts. Her outsider status, her obvious reluctance to be involved, lends weight to her words. Min-jae's mask slips for just a moment. His eyes, when they meet hers, promise violence. The family splits. Half believe them, half side with Min-jae. The syndicate is fracturing. And then Min-jae makes his final move. He kidnaps her father. The message arrives with a photo. Her father, bound and terrified, in some dark room. Drop the accusations and he lives. Persist, and I'll send him back in pieces. Ruth's world narrows to that image. Everything she's done, every choice she's made, was to protect him. And now, we'll get him back, Ji-hoon says. His voice is the coldest she's ever heard it. Min-jae made this personal. That was a mistake. They planned the rescue with military precision. Min-jae's compound is on the outskirts of Seoul, heavily guarded, but Ji-hoon knows the layout. He lived there as a child. You're not coming, Ji-hoon tells her. Like hell I'm not. That's my father. It's too dangerous. If something happens to you, then something happens to me. I'm not letting you do this alone. She meets his eyes. We're partners, remember? All the way. He stares at her for a long moment, then nods. Stay close to me. Don't take unnecessary risks. Same to you. The assault happens at dawn. They breach the compound with a team of loyalists. Gunfire echoes. Ruth moves through it like a ghost, gun in hand, Ji-hoon at her side. They're a perfect unit. He anticipates her movements. She covers his blind spots. When they finally reach the room where her father is held, her heart nearly stops. He's alive, bruised and terrified, but alive. Ruth, he gasps. You shouldn't be here. I'm getting you out. Can you walk? Ji-hoon is already cutting his bonds. But footsteps thunder in the hall. Min-jae's men, converging. The escape is chaos. They fight their way out, her father between them. A guard aims for her father's back. She puts 2 bullets in him without hesitation. By the time they reach the cars, she's covered in blood that may or may not be her own. Her father recovers at the estate. Once he's stable, he asks to speak with Ji-hoon privately. Ruth watches from the doorway as they face each other. Her father, the gentle man who raised her. Ji-hoon, the monster who's becoming something else. I know what you did to my daughter in high school, her father says quietly. She told me everything years ago. Ji-hoon goes very still. Sir, I have no excuse. What I did was unforgivable. Yes. Her father's voice is hard. I'm watching you, Ji-hoon SSI. One wrong move, one moment of cruelty toward her, and debt or no debt, syndicate or no syndicate, I will find a way to end you. I understand. But, her father sighs, I also see how she looks at you when she thinks no one's watching. I don't know what's growing between you two, but don't waste it. She's already lost too much in her life. Later, Halmione requests tea with Ruth. They sit in the garden, surrounded by late autumn colors. You've changed things here, the old woman says. The staff adores you. The elders respect you. And my grandson, she smiles. He's more alive than I've seen him in years. I don't know what we are, Ruth admits. Does it matter? Labels are for people who have the luxury of simple lives. Halmione pours tea with steady hands. I was forced into marriage at 16. My husband was cruel at first. It took decades for us to find peace. But you, child, you have a choice. You can let the past chain you, or you can choose your own future. What if I'm not ready to choose? Then don't. But don't let fear make the choice for you. Min-jae sends a formal challenge. A traditional syndicate duel for leadership. Winner takes everything. Loser is exiled or dead. Don't do this, Ruth begs Ji-hoon. There has to be another way. There isn't. He won't stop until one of us is gone. Ji-hoon touches her face gently. If something happens to me, my grandmother will protect you. The lawyers have documents ensuring your and your father's safety. You'll be free. I don't want freedom if it costs your life. The words hang between them, heavy with implication. Ruth, just come back alive. Please. The duel is brutal. They fight in the traditional way, hand to hand in a circle of witnesses. No weapons except what they can take from each other. Min-jae is younger, faster, but Ji-hoon is desperate. He fights like a man with everything to lose. When Min-jae gets the upper hand, when he has Ji-hoon pinned with a blade to his throat, Ruth screams his name. Ji-hoon's eyes find hers across the room. Whatever he sees there gives him strength. He reverses the position, disarms Min-jae, and ends it with a knife to his brother's throat. You wanted power? Ji-hoon's voice is ragged. Here's what it costs. Exile. Leave Korea and never return. If I see you again, I'll kill you. Min-jae spits blood. She'll never really forgive you, brother. One day she'll remember who you were, and you'll lose her anyway. But Ji-hoon lets him live. Steps back. Lets his brother walk away. The succession is complete. Ji-hoon is the undisputed leader. But that night, when he finds Ruth, he's not victorious. He's shaking. I almost died today, he says. And all I could think was that I'd never get to tell you. He stops. Your father's debt is cleared. Formally, legally, completely. You can leave. Divorce, new life, whatever you want. I won't stop you. He means it. She can see it in his eyes. Where would I go? She asks. Anywhere. Everywhere. You're free. Freedom. The thing she's wanted since this started. It's right there, offered on a silver platter. So why does it feel like a loss? I need to think, she tells him. That night, she packs a bag. The driver is waiting. The gates are open. She can leave. She makes it all the way to the car before she stops. Memories flood her. Not just the bad ones, but the recent ones. Ji-hoon covering her body with his own. Working side by side through the night. The way he looks at her like she's the sun and he's been living in darkness. Her grandmother's words echo. Don't let fear make the choice for you. She's been chained to the past for so long. Leaving keeps those chains intact. Staying means choosing something new. Something terrifying and complicated and hers. She turns around. Ji-hoon is in his study, head in his hands. He looks up when she enters, and the hope that flashes across his face breaks something in her chest. I'm not staying because I forgive you, she says clearly. I'm staying because I choose to. I'm not the girl you bullied anymore. You're not the boy who did it. We're different people now. Ruth. But if we do this, really do this, no more masks. No more hiding. Equal partnership in everything. I'm not your wife in name only. I'm your partner. He's across the room in 3 strides, stopping just short of touching her. I'll spend the rest of my life proving you didn't make a mistake. I don't need proof. I need honesty. I need partnership. I need you to keep becoming the person you're trying to be. I can do that. His voice is rough. Ruth, don't say you love me. Not yet. We're not there yet. Then what are we? We're choosing each other. That's enough for now. This time, when he reaches for her, she doesn't pull away. His hand cups her face, and she leans into it. They're both broken, both scarred. But maybe broken things can build something new together. The kiss is inevitable. Gentle at first, then desperate. Years of pain and anger and something new burning between them. When they finally break apart, she says, "This won't be easy. Nothing worth having ever is." The next day, there's a syndicate meeting. Ruth walks in beside Ji-hoon, and this time, she sits at the head of the table with him. Equal. The elders murmur but don't protest. She's earned this. Every person in this room knows what she's done. The deals she's closed, the assassination she stopped, the rescue she executed. She's not just Ji-hoon's wife anymore. She's a power in her own right. There will be changes, Ji-hoon announces. The syndicate operates differently now. My wife is my equal in all decisions. Anyone who has a problem with that can leave. No one moves. Ruth pulls out a folder. I've been reviewing our operations. We're leaving money on the table and taking unnecessary risks. Here's what we're going to do differently. She presents a plan she and Ji-hoon developed together. Legitimate business fronts that actually function. Reduced exposure in high-risk ventures. A shift toward financial crimes that carry less violence. We can't eliminate the blood, she says honestly, but we can minimize it. The old way was chaos. This is strategy. One of the old guard, a man named Choi who's been with the syndicate for 40 years, speaks up. And what makes you think you understand our world, Mrs. John? I don't, she says simply. I understand business. I understand risk management. And I understand that constant war is expensive and stupid. You've been doing things the same way for decades. How's that working out? Your boss was assassinated, you almost had a civil war, and half your operations are under investigation. The room is silent. Choi laughs suddenly. She's got fire. I like her. The tension breaks. They spend the next 3 hours hammering out details. Ruth holds her own, Ji-hoon backs her up, and by the end, they have unanimous approval. As they're leaving, Ji-hoon's hand finds hers. A small gesture, but public. Claiming each other in front of everyone. That night, they're in his room. There's now, she supposes. She's been slowly moving her things in over the past week. Are you sure about this? He asks, watching her hang clothes in his closet. About us? No, she admits. I'm terrified. Every time I look at you, part of me still sees that boy who made me cry myself to sleep. But then I see who you're trying to become, and I want to believe in that person. What if I fail? What if I hurt you again? Then I'll leave, and you'll let me. She turns to face him. That's the deal. The moment you become that person again, I'm gone. No second chances. Fair enough. He pulls her close. I can work with that. They're learning each other. Not the forced proximity of before, but genuine discovery. She learns that he drinks his coffee colored and bitter, that he has nightmares about his father, that he plays piano when he can't sleep. He learns that she stress bakes, that she's terrified of disappointing her father, that she sings in the shower. It's not easy. Some days she looks at him and feels nothing but rage for what he did. Some days he withdraws, terrified that he's going to destroy this fragile thing they're building. But they keep choosing each other. 3 months pass. The syndicate stabilizes under their joint leadership. Ruth's business reforms actually work. They're making more money with less risk. Her father opens a new restaurant with syndicate backing, legitimate this time. He and Ji-hoon have developed a cautious respect. Halmini throws a party for Ruth's birthday. The whole family attends, including cousins Ruth didn't know existed. It's overwhelming and chaotic and wonderful. Speech! Someone calls out. Ruth stands, glass in hand. A year ago, I thought my life was over. I was forced into a marriage I didn't want, trapped in a world I didn't understand. But somewhere along the way, I stopped being trapped and started choosing. I chose to fight. I chose to survive. And eventually, I chose to stay. Her eyes find Ji-hoon. This family is complicated. This life is dangerous. But it's mine. I claimed it. And I'm not going anywhere. The room erupts in cheers. Ji-hoon's expression is soft, almost vulnerable. Later, they slip away to the garden. It's cold, late November, and their breath mists in the air. Thank you, Ji-hoon says quietly. For what? For staying. For giving me a chance I didn't deserve. For being stronger than I ever was. He takes her hands. I know I said I wouldn't say it yet, but Ruth, I love you. I've loved you since the moment you walked down that aisle looking like you wanted to kill me. Maybe before that. Maybe since high school, when you fought back and showed me what real strength looked like. Her breath catches. Ji-hoon, you don't have to say it back. I just needed you to know. She thinks about it. About love and hate and how sometimes they're twisted together so tightly you can't separate them. About how this man destroyed her and protected her and changed for her. I don't know if what I feel is love, she says honestly. But it's something. Something big and terrifying and real. And maybe that's enough for now. It's more than enough. He kisses her under the stars. And for the first time in her life, Ruth feels like she's exactly where she's supposed to be. But peace never lasts forever in their world. A month later, a new threat emerges. A rival syndicate from Busan, smelling blood in the water after the John family's internal conflicts. They start encroaching on territory, challenging deals, making moves. They think we're weak, Ji-hoon says during a strategy meeting. They think the leadership change made us vulnerable. Then we show them they're wrong, Ruth says. She's been studying the Busan group. Their boss has a daughter, early 20s, recently back from studying abroad. He's protective of her. We're not kidnapping someone's daughter, Ji-hoon says immediately. I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting we invite her to Seoul. Diplomatic meeting. Woman to woman. Ruth smiles. Let me handle this my way. The meeting happens at a neutral location. The Busan boss's daughter, Sumin, is sharp and suspicious. But Ruth is sharper. Your father is making a mistake, Ruth says over tea. He thinks we're an easy target. We're not. But we don't want war either. War is expensive and messy and ultimately, nobody wins. So what are you proposing? Alliance. Your father's operation focuses on the southern ports. We dominate Seoul and the north. There's no reason for conflict. We stay out of each other's way. And when opportunities arise, we work together. Sumin considers. And if my father refuses? Then we go to war. And I promise you we'll win. But your father will die in the process. And you'll inherit a broken empire. Ruth meets her eyes. Or you can convince him that partnership is more profitable than pride. 2 weeks later, Sumin's father agrees to the alliance. Ji-hoon is impressed and slightly terrified by Ruth's negotiating skills. You're scary when you want to be, he tells her that night. Good. People should be scared of me. She grins. But not you. You're stuck with me. Lucky me. They're in bed, that intimate space where they can be honest. Where he can trace the scars on her heart and she can see the ghosts in his eyes. Do you ever regret it? She asks quietly. Everything that happened? If you could go back and change it, I'd change how I treated you in high school in a heartbeat. But if changing that meant never having this, never having you now, he pulls her closer. I don't know. Does that make me selfish? Probably. But I get it. She's quiet for a moment. Sometimes I think about the life I could have had if none of this happened. Normal job, normal relationship, normal everything. But then I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't have found this strength. You always had the strength. You just had to find a place to use it. Maybe. Or maybe you forced me to become someone I never would have been otherwise. I can't decide if that's a gift or a curse. Can it be both? I guess it has to be. They fall asleep tangled together, two broken people building something whole. The next morning brings news. Min-jae has been spotted in Tokyo. He's been quiet since his exile, but intelligence suggests he's gathering resources, making alliances. He's coming back, Ruth says, studying the reports. He's not done. Let him come. We'll be ready. But there's worry in Ji-hoon's eyes. Min-jae was always the smarter brother, the more charming one. If he spent this time planning revenge, we'll handle it together, Ruth says firmly. Whatever he throws at us, we handle it together. Together, Ji-hoon echoes. And for the first time, she hears certainty in his voice instead of fear. 6 months into their real marriage, Ruth realizes something has shifted. She's not pretending anymore. When she takes his hand, it's natural. When she defends him to the elders, it's genuine. When he comes home late and she worries, it's real. She's fallen in love with him. Somehow, impossibly, she's fallen in love with the boy who tormented her. The realization hits her during a mundane moment. They're reviewing contracts in the study, arguing good-naturedly about a clause, and he laughs at something she says. Really laughs. The kind that crinkles his eyes and makes him look young. And she thinks, I love this man. I love who he's become. I love who we are together. Terrifies her. That night, she tells him. There on the balcony of their room, watching Seoul S-coil below them. I love you, she says abruptly. I fought it. I told myself it was impossible. But I love you, and I need you to know that. He turns to her, eyes wide. Ruth, I love you despite everything. Because of everything. I don't know anymore. But it's real, and it's mine. And I'm trusting you with it. Her voice shakes. Don't make me regret it. Never. He cups her face in both hands. I swear on everything I am. I will spend every day earning this. Earning you. You already have. The kiss is different this time. Not desperate or urgent, but deep and sure. Promise. They make love that night with a tenderness that surprises them both. It's not their first time, but it's the first time they're both fully present. No ghosts between them. No walls. Just two people choosing each other completely. Afterward, wrapped in sheets and moonlight, Ji-hoon whispers, Thank you for seeing past the monster. You're not a monster. You're a man who did monstrous things and found his way back to humanity. That's different. Is it? Yes, monsters don't change. You did. He holds her tighter. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you've got me anyway. The peace doesn't last. It never does. Min-jae returns with an army. Not literal, but close enough. He's allied with 3 other syndicates, promising them John territory in exchange for backing his coup. The attack comes at dawn. Multiple fronts, coordinated strikes. They hit warehouses, legitimate businesses, even the estate itself. Ruth wakes to gunfire. Ji-hoon is already moving, pulling on clothes, grabbing weapons. Stay in the safe room, he orders. Absolutely not. We fight together. Remember? Ruth, don't you dare try to protect me by leaving me behind. I'm not fragile. I'm your partner. He looks at her for a long moment, then hands her a gun. Stay close. They fight through their own home. The surreal and horrifying. Staff they've known for months lie dead or wounded. Guards they've trained with fall around them. But they push forward. They're a perfect unit, anticipating each other's moves. When Ji-hoon's weapon jams, she's there to cover him. When she's pinned down, he flanks her attackers. They make it to the communications center and send out the call. Every loyal member of the John Syndicate, every ally they've cultivated. It's time to choose sides. The war lasts 3 days. 3 days of chaos and blood and impossible choices. Ruth kills 6 men. She stops counting after that. On the 3rd day, they corner Min-jae in an abandoned factory outside Seoul. He's alone, his allies having scattered when the tide turned. You couldn't just let me win, Min-jae says, bloodied but still defiant. You had to be the golden boy, even in the end. You killed our father, Ji-hoon says flatly. You tried to kill me. You endangered everyone in this family. Why? Because you got everything. Father's approval, the syndicate, and somehow even her. Min-jae's eyes slide to Ruth with pure hatred. The colored girl you used to torture. And she chose you. It's almost poetic how unfair it is. She chose herself, Ji-hoon corrects. I was just lucky enough to be part of that choice. How touching. Are you gonna kill me now, brother? End the fairy tale? Ruth steps forward. That's up to you. You can disappear forever, or you can die here. Your choice. Min-jae laughs bitterly. Some choice. It's more than you gave others, she says coldly. In the end, Min-jae leaves, broken and defeated, but alive. It's a mercy neither of them is sure he deserves, but one they give anyway. The aftermath is brutal. They've won, but the cost is high. 12 loyal men dead, countless wounded, 2 of their major operations destroyed. But they've also proven something. The John Syndicate is unbreakable under their leadership. Together, they're formidable. The rebuilding takes months. They restructure everything, implementing even more of Ruth's business strategies. She formally takes the title of co-boss, unprecedented in Syndicate history but unquestioned after everything she's done. A year after the war, they stand on the balcony where she first told him she loved him. Seoul spreads below them, glittering and alive. Do you ever miss the life you could have had? Ji-hoon asks. Before all this? Sometimes, but not often. She leans into him. This life, with all its blood and chaos, is mine. I chose it. I shaped it. That matters more than easy ever could. Even with me, with our history, especially with you. She turns to face him. You know what the crazy thing is? I think I needed you to break me back then, to make me hard enough to survive this world. And you needed me to show you that change is possible. That's a very generous interpretation. Maybe, or maybe it's just true. She kisses him softly. We broke each other and rebuilt each other into something new. Something better. Do you think we're done being broken? No. I think we'll keep breaking and rebuilding forever. That's what love is, isn't it? Choosing to put each other back together over and over. He pulls her close, resting his forehead against hers. I never thought I'd have this. Peace, love. A partner who sees all of me and stays anyway. Well, you do. So don't screw it up. Yes, ma'am. They laugh and the sound carries across the night. 2 people who should never have worked, who came together through force and fury, who found love in the ashes of cruelty. It's not a fairy tale. It's messy and complicated and built on a foundation of pain. But it's real. It's chosen. And it's theirs. 6 months later, Ruth discovers she's pregnant. The news terrifies her. Bringing a child into this world, this life. We don't have to, Ji-hoon says immediately when she tells him. If you don't want to do this, we won't. Your choice. Always your choice. She thinks about it for days. Thinks about the kind of parent she'd be. The kind of parent he'd be. The world they'd raise a child in. I want this, she finally says. But we do it differently. No abuse. No forcing them to be something they're not. If they want out of this life, they get out. Agreed. Completely agreed. Their daughter is born on a spring morning. She has Ruth's eyes and Ji-hoon's nose and lungs that could wake the dead. She's perfect, Ji-hoon whispers, holding her with a tenderness that makes Ruth's heart ache. She's ours, Ruth corrects. That makes her perfect. They name her Hope, because that's what she represents. Hope that they can break the cycles of cruelty. Hope that love can grow even in darkness. Hope for a different kind of future. As Ruth watches her husband cradle their daughter, singing softly in Korean, she thinks about the girl she was. 15 and alone, tormented and breaking. She thinks about the woman she became, hard and vengeful, plotting destruction. And she thinks about who she is now. A mother, a wife, a syndicate boss, a woman who chose her own path and walked it without apology. Thank you, Ji-hoon says softly, looking up at her with tears in his eyes. For what? For staying, for fighting, for giving me a chance to be better. For this, he looks down at Hope, for showing me what love actually means. We showed each other, she says, joining them on the bed. That's how partnership works. They sit together, The three of them, as dawn breaks over Seoul. It's not the ending Ruth imagined when she walked down that aisle 2 years ago. It's better and harder and more real than any fairy tale. This is their story. Not of forgiveness exactly, but of transformation. Of two broken people who chose each other and built something beautiful from the ruins. It's not perfect. They still fight. He still has nightmares about becoming his father. She still has moments where she looks at him and sees the boy who hurt her. But they work through it. Together. Because that's what love is. Not perfect. Not easy. Just chosen. Every single day. If you enjoyed the story, do me a favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me what you thought, and subscribe so you don't miss more stories like this. And turn on that notification bell because I've got more complicated, messy, beautiful love stories coming your way. Thanks for watching.